Okay, we're back. So I just loosened off all of these. So some of them had to go down as low as a 16 to get a grip, 16 mil that is, instead of an 11/16, which is a bit more than 17 mil. So some of them are well and truly rusted. So what I do with these is, because all of the studs came out, is any of the ones with a very rusted nut on them, I take off the nut, I put on a better nut, and I actually run in the stud into this so that we have that for lining up, because we will need that for lining up. So what I'll do is I'll take all of these out and give them put them straight into the parts washer. That spring washer that's dead there can stay there if it stays there. Oh, we still have one more to screw out there, so we'll just screw him out. There is a grease nipple on this, and someone seems to have been, thankfully, greasing it. Seen the difference that a greased bearer makes on the front hub. One of them was better greased than the other and had a better grease seal, so it makes a massive difference. All threads seem to be good. Just some of the nuts, years of water being thrown up there and maybe a bit of dung or all of that can just sometimes take the square head off the valve, the nut. So we'll throw all these into the parts washer and just give them a clean up. Okay, so if you saw any of the videos on the Gold Belly and on the 35X as well, I had to do a lot of work on the 35X because some of these were really bad. So any of them that look bad, I think there's definitely one or two of them there. The likes of that lad there who's just, you can see the rust has just got the better of him. What we do is we slap him in here. Any damage to this part there, the wider part of the stud, we can file out. Right, so we're not going to be worried about that for the time being. We have to get a good grip on him. And what we try to do is we try to get the nut off. So we give it a good tighten because we don't want it spinning if possible. It's spinning as well. Ends up scratching things. So that's coming off there. And then we'll be able to give the threads a clean up. Now, of course, because this is a bit rusty and a bit etched with rust, might have to go for a smaller spanner. Or we might get away with it. Just to get it off, this is going straight Strach Savoska Brusker now after this, so it is. As much as you would get away with it, of course. Just putting on a smaller spanner and tightening it up, putting a nice spring washer behind it, you would get away. There's no doubt at all, but that's not how we do things here. When I strip an engine or get a tractor there for parts, I take as much of all the nuts and bolts and studs off I can, and washers included. So that can just go straight into the bin. And we get our deluxe extravaganza box of one of the boxes I have of nuts, and we pick out a nice cylinder head nut. These are lovely black and they're the same thread, just a little bit thicker. So before we do that, before we go putting on our nice nut, we just give it a quick clean up on the threads. You know, sometimes you're better off having the threads a little bit iffy out here, so that when you tighten it in, it'll actually screw it into the end on the hub, and that's what we want. We don't want a big load of this sticking out and getting rusty. But this one I'm actually going to put into the hub because it has had a bad nut on it. So that's good. We did very little damage there because that all affects it. So we're just going to do is clean up on these threads, so these have to go into the hub. These should be fine. So that is going to be number one of the first of the studs that I'm going to go putting in. Ah yeah, that is a-okay. Brilliant. So that's grand. That one was missing spring washer, so I'm just going to quickly go and top that off. Okay, spring washer, boom. Okay, so that's going to be going into the hub. There was another one here I was a little bit iffy about as well. I think was there. Yeah, that one there just isn't great. So we'll take him off as well, and then we'll fire this stud into the hub as well. And they'll act as the two studs we need for lining up our backing plate and into the trumpet and all of that. So this is way too far gone, so we'll just get a different spanner. Maybe I'll have one here, I'd say. We'll try a 17. If not, we'll go down to a 16. 16 probably have to be tapped on. 17, to tighten them up first. I have to clean him up here at the back. Yeah, threads are too far gone on that. We're not going to get him off. So that's okay. We're just going to use him the way he is. We just won't put him down on the bottom. The bottom we always put a good one with a good head that we can get a good tighten on. That one is good enough. Remember, it was only really two that gave a little bit of bother. Yeah. Maybe we'll try him for a better bolt. Better not. Okay. So I have to go for a socket with him. I'd say, wait, doesn't feel great. That's going to have to come off, I'd say. It's just not going to be able to take the tension we're going to need. Yeah, so I'm going to go and put a socket on him and get him off. Okay, so our two options here are this doesn't come off. Our two options are this nut comes off, and if it doesn't come off, I have other studs there. We'll replace it. I'm going to try 16. Okay, it seems to be moving. That doesn't mean it's going to come off, because sometimes the worst of the threads are the furthest out. The nut will usually re-tidy up you can nearly cut the threads anyway. That definitely has to go. I mean, at the end of the day, there's only 6 of them, and it's the whole, you know, it's, a lot of things are banking on this, your pressure on your wheel bearing and all of that, so that has to go. I'll get a nice black. God, I love these. These do a really nice job. They're tightening the threads up nicely, but this is going to be a little, you can see just the end there, it's just finding it hard just to start, that's all. Just to get that first bite straight. Pick up the first thread and we should be good to go. How's that? No. I can run a tap on this if I have to. Have a tap there for it. So make sure it gets that first one good. And we're away. Right, what are we looking for? I don't mind these threads being a bit stiff because this will help thread in. Yeah, that's good enough. I don't want to go freeing them up any more than that because it'll help screw in the stud. I want the stud to go the whole way in, so we've less of the stud. Less of this end of the stud exposed. It's exposed isn't good on that, so we have to come off again. So they're going to be our two studs that we're going to go threading in. We'll take off the nuts then. They're going to be in the half shaft. Okay, the rest of them has got a clean. Okay, threads look perfect. Probably will give them a quick rub with a wire brush and drill before I fit them, but we have more important things to do until then. At least we've got to use all our studs. Some of them in other projects were so bad, simply had to go and get better ones. So what we need to do now is to pull this half shaft. The only thing I do have to be careful there of, because this thing was welded on there, normally you'd be able to lift that off, is just to get that rod, and I pull it just to get it back in behind there and out under there. Unless I can do something different there, can I? Lift it up a bit too. There we are. That will do. That'll do the finest. Okay. So out it comes. It's a bit awkward. This falls down because it's heavier. We put a bit of oil, so I'll just throw a drum underneath it, just in case. This has plenty of oil in the back end anyway. There we go, that's what we wanted. Okay. Yeah, nice sealing surface there anyway. This side doesn't seem to have been taken. Okay. Lovely. Have a drip of oil there. So we'll get our torch and we'll just have a quick look. Let's give the mitts a wipe there. See what things look like in here. It's only going to be a matter of placing the seal anyway. Okay, so the oil is a little bit milky. He was greasing it, in fairness. Okay, he was greasing it. There's a gasket on it there. There's actually no need for a gasket really. On these they don't say, unless there's shims. Shims could be on the other side of this. We have to have a look. But there seems to be some form of a gasket on this as well. I usually polish all them up. So we have a new seal there. Okay, that seal doesn't feel too bad. It's definitely not the factory one because they were leather. Okay, so let's just separate this into two parts. We want our half shaft separate to the backing plate on this rod. I want to get this brake rod sorted here now. Lift him up and out. We'll put him into the parts washer over here. We're going to wash him out completely and put new grease in there. Okay, and then we have this. So I'm just going to wash my hands and we'll get this onto the workbench. What makes these awkward is you have your T-piece here, so that's not going to come out that way, and it's not going to come out this way because you have all this throttle here, and these are usually always seized in this side. Thankfully on the other side they're not too bad. I just thought I left the clevis pin. Where did I put that? That might have fallen out along the way, did it? There it is down here. There's the clevis pin. That fell out. There was a split pin in it, but it was very bad, so I'll replace that. So yeah, they usually are completely seized. You can see there, the chances of getting that out are zilch nil. Okay, so you usually have to cut them and put in a bolt. I probably won't have to take that out at all. The most important thing is that it's moving. I normally would and all of that, but we will get it back in the way it is, or I might just take a notion and cut it out. Right, so first things first, the biggest job at hand here is this. When this knuckle seizes for your independent brake is just in behind it there. If that wants to seize in a certain place, when you're pulling your brakes on this way, it ends up not pulling the brakes at all. These weren't working in a long time because there's very little wear on that. I'll polish that up and I have new bushings that go into the rear axle. That'll be lovely. Loads of grease. That will be perfect, right? But what we've got to do first, we've got to break out the big guns here. We've got to start cracking these open. I've been spraying plenty of stuff on these the last good while. Lovely. It's the UNF fine thread. So that's good. So we loosen them a bit. Now this is where we can end up damaging things, but I have lots of these nuts and bolts anyway. And then we can put this on the bolt head the other side and try and get the whole thing moving. No, that's just too rusty. There, I hope that isn't welded, see. Hopefully it's just paint. I think it's just paint. Alright, so what we can do is we can hit that a few cracks with the hammer, because that has to come up. I'm not mistaken now. Wait till we see. It's meant to be a slot in it. Things are fairly solid there now at the moment. This does really need to come out. So we don't have to just go damage it too much. But it's not important. I have loads of them there. Solid the other side. Completely solid. I don't know if that is it. Hardly well, yeah. No, it's just, thankfully it's just paint. But it's really well brushed onto it there. So what I think I'll do with this, I'll loosen this off, take off, it's coarse right here, we'll take off the washer. Might just give us a bit more purchase. I'll try and get a bit of spray in there. As much as I was spraying it, it's very, very dry in there. So all we're looking to do here is there is a torch there just to have close by. It's very similar to the brake pedals. We're just looking to open up this slot there, just below, just get it to focus there, just below there, the nut. You can barely see it, so much paint in there. Opens up and a looses grip on that, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a woodruff key in there as well, I think. There's a woodruff key in there, so we do need to get that loosened. We do need to get him off as well for that, so we may as well give him a go there as well. See what humour he's in on a Monday evening. So it'll be a little bit hard for you to see what's going there. I might move it this side. So he's got to come off as well. We have to get all of this out. This is not looking like it's in the greatest condition. Gives a better chance of getting this down into it. Okay, so that's not going to work. Well and truly. So put a 17mm on, that's a little bit smaller. Okay. The law of the lever. We're twisting underneath, we're not, so we need to get him off again. Which can be fun sometimes. Might just take off the whole thing and tap it out in the other. Oh yeah, that all looks good. It mightn't look so good now after I've had to bait it a few times with a hammer. But yeah, I'll just tap out this nut when I come back. This is the head of the bolt. Kind of need to get him moving as well. Yeah. Beautiful. He's going to have to tap out. Right, so we can put back on the nut, start tapping him out and then drift him out then the last bit with our with a punch. Okay, so I'll get a ratchet because it'll be easier for me doing this with one hand. Turn and tap. Loosen off the nut another bit. Actually, there's a washer there. We take him off. We want that nut to screw on as much as possible so we're not wrecking threads. Okay, just keep screwing on the nut and tap. That is always, if you ask me, the best way of doing it. If you want to use the nut and bolt again, just baiting, trying to turn it. There we go. Perfectly usable again. A rub of the wire brush and the drill should be, there won't be a loss on her at all. Lovely. That'll clean up nice. Right, so keep that there. So now what were we talking about here? We really need to get this lad in here to start shifting, if possible. Instead of going baiting and baiting and baiting, this lad here I'm talking about, that bio, instead of just going baiting, we could get him to shift, to start turning, we'd be laughing. So what I might do is just chance spinning all this around here. We see now where we're. Oh yeah. Turn her up here. Be a bit easier to handle it. So at least with gravity now working in our favour. Right, and all our penetrating oil will spray will run down rather than running off. Right. We things with that bloody thing in the way. Let me see. I'm going to go hitting the camera. Right. So, off with that lad for a second. On with a wire brush. Clean around as much as we can. That should allow that to start spraying down in there. Right. Okay, started breaking that kind of rusty seal on it there. So now we have to start wiggling and jiggling under here. Let down the camera a little bit there because of everything in the way. Ah, no, I won't. We're not going to see it anyway, so I'll just leave it here, back out of the way, because I'll be using the breaker bar. So that's good and strong there. Hell good and strong. Okay, we'll chance it with the, what did we say, was it the, no, 11/16 ain't going to work. We'll try the 17. Let that back up out of the way. Now, I'm going to try and keep it up. Yeah, no, that's going to shear the head off that. So this is the one now that's going to be an issue. This is the one we might have to do a bit of baiting on, I'm afraid. She is solid. We'll get it. We'll get it. It's really a two-man job. One person taking continuous pressure on this, and the other person baiting the nut then. That's how you get this lady to start shifting out of there. Need to tighten me vice, I think. So I'll put a bit of pressure on my shoulder there. Stop moving unless it's, I don't know, is the head about to shear off or no, we wind it. And if they're not still good, it is. Yeah, it's always satisfying when you get them to start moving. In the end, it gave up fairly quick, and I'd say that's just penetrating oil just getting down. Thing of beauty. Okay. You definitely could do with a bit of a clean up, all right. Well and truly 30. Right. Just want to take a picture on the phone there first for where each one of these bolts goes. Not that I'll probably go wrong, but they're different threads, they're different length threads. I'll take a picture of that just for reference. Always a good idea. Now, this brake rod is annoying me. I'm just going to cut it off. And then we can go tapping out the likes of our pin actually was moving in there, so that's good. So now we just have to work on this bit here. We can tap that down and put something new in it. It gives us a lot more space here. Okay, now our side independent brake lever there, brake pedal is moving now that we have that out. That's not on a Woodruff key or anything like that. Oh, just run that up and down a few times. Get her used to coming ready for coming off. And then we can tap in a punch, some description. Right, that's fine. Now we'll lift this over a bit and get her off. Awkward enough apart, I'm not going to lie, but it was easy to put them together, I suppose, in the factory when everything was new. I must have all my punches over somewhere else there. Be careful with these because they do like to bounce out. That one is too wide. The narrow one I'm just not seeing at the present moment, wherever it's gone. Check it anyway, it's there somewhere. Be careful using this one. This is a roofing one. Okay, so there is your steering brake off. And what that leaves you then with is this. This is the knuckle now that's seized. So we've got to start baiting an oil, and there's an oil, hold the other side there. And then and we need to get this open, this gap, we need to get this off here as well. I think, am I right in saying that? No, we don't. We just need to get this moving. We just need to get that moving. Didn't need to take that out, actually, come to think of it now. I just thought, being honest, that I'm probably actually better off just having this whole piece to work on. But if this stays put, we won't need to go doing that, taking that off. So at least we have the bolt out. If we have to, it should tap off. So what way are we there? Start getting this thing, getting used to the idea of turning. She is rightly seized in there. It's an oil light bushing that's in there. So it's just been a little bit awkward, but we, like everything else, we get it. We'll go. Yeah, it's starting to go there anyway. We're a long way away yet now, but starting to move is always good. But we have to be careful. Actually, I'm looking there because I need to put that bolt back in. So we do wherever it's gone, because it's opening that crack there. So if it opens too much, let's put the nut in there quickly. It won't line up. Anyway, that's open there, so we can tighten him back up. That was something we didn't really need to do, but we did it. We might still have to take the whole part off. Or we might not. But we're just going to go with it there, trying to work this for the time being on that main brake rod there, brake shaft. A bit better grip on things the way it is there now. Let's make sure that gap is closing there, so I don't want to go wrecking the Woodruff key. Well and truly seized. Well and truly seized. Heat. I could heat the hell out of it and it would work. If I'm stuck, I'll bring it into the gas cooker there. Yeah. So I'll come back anyway with a bit more to show, because it's going to take a bit of to and fro and that kind of thing. Okay, left it soaking in diesel for a while. There we go. So it actually, the bush actually stuck to this, which is fine. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter in the slightest. Great nick. Probably all those years of not being used, I suppose. It's in here now, we need to start cleaning up. So I'll do that. It's actually a really good nick in there. Really good nick. Feels nice and smooth, but it's just a bit of dry rust here and there, so we'll give that a bit of a clean up with a bit of sandpaper and stuff. It won't actually take that much. But we will want to have it moving in there nice and freely. So that the main brakes work. So I get in there with the Dremel and a few different sizes of wire brush. We'll polish the life out of it. Normally, the bush stays in there, doesn't stay on the pin. Strange now that the bush preferred to stay to the pin. The bush would have been tapped in to that casting. So there it is there. One of the best ones I've seen in a long time. So as I said, it's no wonder. It was just seized for so long. It wasn't wearing at all. Lovely, and where I was tapping there, I'll just bring that over to the bench grinder, or just even hand file a little chamfer on it there, just so we don't have problems putting on the steering brake. I would like to drift him off, I'm not going to lie, and clean in underneath him, because I think that's where the main problem is. He's underneath that bloody bush. It's one of them parts he will destroy. So what I'm going to do, thinking on the hop here, is I'm just going to start polishing this up now as much as I can with sandpaper until I get that going in and out of there, the casting nice and smooth. I think I have a band of sandpaper there. I don't know how good this sandpaper is now, to be honest with you. Going to have to take a bit off this bush. I like these to be nice and loose. I like oil and grease and whatever needs to go into them to be able to get around them. They don't need to be a very, very, very snug fit. Like, put your foot on the brakes. That's still going to be way too tight. Okay, so do we have a little bit of cleaning up in there to do? We do, yeah, that's a lot of it. On this end as well, so lovely. We'll get going cleaning that up, and what we'll do is we'll try a fit then. So working on this, the most important thing is that this is turning in there freely, so I had to do an awful lot of work on the one on this 20, so I probably showed it already. The brakes are actually on there, so what we want is that moving in there like that. That's what we want, right? So you don't need to be bringing it to a machine shop or getting them to take a skim off it on a lathe and all of this and precision engineering. You want this to be loose in there. It's still too tight. That's not going to cut it at all. It's not going to be good enough. It's not, so that'll just get catchy, and then your brakes won't work. Your side brakes will work. If there's any catching in there, you just need to get it out of it. So don't be fussed. Use your round file, use your Dremel. Get your sandpaper on something like a bit of a punch, wrap it around, do what you have to do to get that nice and smooth and to get it turning in there nice and free. Usually, as I said, the bushing stays in that piece and you're just working on the other T-piece, and it's a lot easier to do work on that. You can even hit it with a flat file. It doesn't have to be precision engineering, we just have to get this moving, and the looser it is to a certain extent, the better their brakes, their main two brakes are going to work from the main brake pedal. So it was just way too tight, and it looks, as I said, it looks like it was just seized for years. Which has its benefits, of course. It's not worn, but it would want to be very badly worn to actually affect the brakes. It's when it's seized. When it's seized, we get the bother. So that's hard to shine down and now a bit of a torch down there. It is improving there now anyway. Right, a little bit rough. We'll get that out with sandpaper. But it actually doesn't even matter as long as we get we're turning freely in it. We're good, because these brakes, the brakes on this side were just not functioning at all. And as you've seen the state of the brake pads, the brake shoes were, half of them had fallen off the top one. So we'll go through how to stop that when we're fitting the new shoes. I've never seen a bushing as good as that come out. Still too tight, lads. Way too tight. So something's got to give. Something has got to give. So it's just going to take a bit of filing, I think. Be the quickest way out of it, I think. Now. I don't feel any high patches in there. Maybe if we could hold it maybe that way it'd be better, wouldn't it? We'll get out. If it wasn't for those rubber mats there, I tell you, we'd be in bother. The amount of times the old camera's gone gettled on flying. Sometimes when it comes to these parts, you just have to keep filing it and smiling, basically. It is far handier to be working on this and the bushings in there, of course. Flat file. You don't have to be too fussy. This is a lot slower. Be interesting to see how the other side will come apart. Maybe the bushing will stay in. Yeah. Dremel is a game changer. So it's pure game changer. Where's my bit of sandpaper gone? Wrap it around. Just try and polish that up. It'll be a bit rough after that. I always think these are better to be oiled than greased because there's just not enough of a channel for the grease, really. That little split there maybe, or comes in there maybe. Yeah, it comes in there. I just think oil is better. I think some of them actually had an oil light bearing in them. This doesn't seem to be an oil light bearing. Still too tight. We're getting there. Well, it's getting too tight. So it is rough in there still. And where the grease nipple comes in, it's just a bit of a lump on it there. So we'll hit that Dremel, even that's catching it. The only thing about that particular grinding stone, it is fairly rough, but that's what we need. We need to get the material out of this, like. Bit better. We're winning. We're winning. We're getting there. We're not far off. So what I might do is just make sure there's no high spots on this. I'm getting a bit of an idea here now. It probably is a good idea. It actually probably mightn't be, but it's one way that's going to speed things up a lot. Let's take a quick skim off this all the way around, nice and even. There's no tolerance or ratting needed here, like it's just needs to move very freely. Just take a little skim. I might just take a little bit of a high patch off here and there, especially there that join is. Could be sitting a little bit proud to catch it. So what we'll do is we'll file away at that, and that will be our new oil channel. That'll allow oil. A little clearance there the whole way. In fact, our that whole bushing there looked like it was moving. If that would come off easy, we'd be able to speed things up a lot. There we go. If that comes off, there we go. Get all the dirt behind it off and underneath it. Polish him up. It is an oil light, yeah. It is an oil light bushing, yeah. You'll see the little, get the camera to focus. You'll see the little dimples in it there, yeah. So it's more so for oil. So what we'll do is we'll put on our brush onto the Dremel. We'll clean all that out inside. Okay, what brush will we go for? Go for this brush if it'll fit in. Perfect. I'll polish that up. This will probably just do it now. This last little bit of work. So I can see why it's tight now. So I'll just give it. Okay, just polish things up a little bit in there as well. Since it is brass, it's an unbelievable condition. Unbelievable condition. The whole thing must have been seized for a very, very, very long time, because I've never seen one that's not in bits. Okay, good. Now, our biggest issue, I think, when it came to this part, is this black stuff that got in underneath that bushing there, you can see. And it's just after building up, and it's that scum. So what I usually do, this is usually what I have to work on with the bushing in. File that crap away, polish it up with the drill. Maybe I should polish up the drill first. There's no point filling me file, so no point filling me file with all that crap. We get this back now polished up. I think we're going to have enough material removed to get this put back together. That was the issue. That was swelling there from nothing. Yeah, so that was our issue. That was our where she was all seized up. So I hit that with the file and shine that up to hell, and I can tell you in a very short amount of time this part will be as good as new, not better, because they were just too tight a fit. Fine if you're good at your maintenance back in the day, but a nice even skim off the whole lot there, get that pitted rust off right in there at the very bottom. The purist mightn't like what I'm doing here, but I'm a realist. This is realistically what this part needs, considering the owner will tell you himself he's not the greatest man for maintenance. To stop this from seizing up again due to lack of oiling or greasing or whatever, I'm simply going to make sure this is going to stay nice and loose when he puts his foot in the brakes, that the brakes are going to function. Yes, you could go, if you had it laid, and give it a skim, take off take off whatever amount of towel, 0.5, or try it and get it all nice and shiny and all of that. But I'm telling you, that's okay for the man that's going to be good at the maintenance. So where's our piece? So I have to line up the hole going in there with this hole. So I'm going to try see if I can tap that in there with a plastic hammer. Get a plastic hammer, see if that taps in. Don't really get many goes at this. So what I'm actually going to do before I do that, I'll take a slight skim off that there. Make sure that we doesn't get too tight too soon. In which case it'll buckle and it'll bend and it'll all of that stuff. Try and get a bit of sandpaper down there. Or a file, maybe a small detail file would do the same thing. Come on. Don't want to go bending things too much. Yeah, I'll get my detail files and we'll just give that a run up and down there a few times. Just take hair's breadth off it. So it taps into place. At the end of the day, what will we be losing? Tiny little gap, and it's only going to help oiling. So, right, can I put something down there just to open up that a bit? There we go. Just get him in there. See if we can. We'll work on halfway up first. Just make sure there's no little burrs or anything. Turn it around, put her on, get the file in. Just let it close a little bit more, it'll fit all the better. The left hand's a bit buckling. You should tap in and go through. Okay. I have to say I enjoy this work on these parts. You just literally put in the time. Lovely materials. A bit of a burr to take off there. Oh, I'll take that off on the bench grinder. Me tapping it out. Won't be a problem. Okay, so we'll try this for a tap in. See, a little bit of feel of it. Wants to go. Get a bit of oil on the job. Takes a while for this can to prime. Okay, that's a bit. And another bit. So straight away we're back into giving this a bit of lubrication, and it probably hasn't gone in a very long time. Right, line up your hole with creasing it. Oh, how does that feel? It feels bloody tight is what it feels. Not too bad that way. Let's get that. Try and get it a bit steadier. Ah yeah, we're going on. So lovely, everything's in line. So that little bit of filing there is after getting that in. Our hole is lined up, right? There's the fingy, so that's good. Now, what we'll do is put that into the vise. See how this feels. Give it a little bit of ulla. Push that ulla. Right, I'm going to have to hit that burr off there with the bench grinder.